Alright, I'm here working on a Nissan Versa, and this is one with the CVT transmission. And I'm doing a drain and fill for the transmission, as well as filter change. I already changed the filter, drained the fluid, but I was having such a hard time getting this stupid fill plug off that I figured I'd make a video showing an easy way I was able to get it out, because it was very difficult to get out. It goes all the way down here. So it's hard to see that silver thing right down there, right there. That's where it goes, and you can see that there's all kinds of stuff in the way. It's very difficult to get to, so you got to really squeeze your hand in there. And the problem with getting this thing off is that there's a little plastic tab in there, as you can see. Yep, right there, that plastic tab. And that little plastic tab clips into a little metal bracket that's on the side of the tube there, the fill tube. See down there, you can see that the little tab has a little notch in it, a little hole, and that's what that plastic tab snaps into. So essentially what you have to do is you have to put a screwdriver in here, and you got to pull this little tab away from that metal bracket that's sticking out, and at the same time you got to pull this out, and there's no space in here to put both of your arms in there, because that's really what you need. You need one arm to hold the screwdriver to pull the tab back, and another hand to pull this you know, this cap off. You know, it's ridiculous how they designed this, you know, but I'm going to show you the way I figured out how to do it. Alright, so as far as pulling the little plastic tab back, I just used a small little flathead screwdriver. This is like a micro type screwdriver, and I just put it in between. When you look down in there with the flashlight, you can see the little metal tab, and well, the little metal bracket that's like comes in here, and then you got to put a screwdriver in here, and you got to pull the little tab back. So you basically got to pull the tab towards the plug, the fill plug. You got to pull it in this direction, away from the little metal bracket. It's hard to explain. I might be able to get a shot of me doing that, but that's the first thing you got to do. You got to pull that little tab back, because that unlocks it. I also have this. This is a very long flathead screwdriver, because this actually reaches all the way down in there, and this would probably work pretty well too, because it does fit in the little slot. Fits in the little slot here. See that? So that would probably work well too, but I didn't originally use this. I used a little micro flathead screwdriver. So you got to put your hand down there, and you got to pull the little tab back with the screwdriver. And then as far as pulling the plug out, since you can't get two hands down there, I used this tool. And this is like a little tool that when you press down here, a little claw mechanism comes out, and this is called like a grabber tool. This is for like retrieving nuts and bolts and stuff like that fall in places that are hard to reach. It also has a little magnetic head, and you can orient it, as you can see. So this is very handy to have, and this is what I use to actually pull the plug out. So once you pull these out, it snaps onto the top here, and as you can see, now we have something to pull that out that reaches all the way down there. And as I was pulling it out, I also had to hold this piece up here and put force on it like this, or else by trying to pull the plug, it's going to make the jaws want to come out like that. So you got to kind of like hold this up to keep pressure on it. But while holding the screwdriver on the little tab and holding this and pulling, it popped right out like nothing. So I'm going to try to demonstrate that now so that you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, so there's a little plug down there, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the screwdriver. So I got to get the screwdriver down here, and I got to get it onto the little plastic piece that's down in there. This little plastic piece has like a little thing that sticks out that you can kind of grab onto. It's very hard to film because the space in here is so tight. So imagine trying to get your hands in here to remove this thing. Alright, see? Right there, I got it in between the tab and the metal bracket. So right now I'm pulling the little tab away from that metal bracket. So now it's unlocked, but I gotta hold the screwdriver in this position. So I'm gonna hold the screwdriver in this position, and then I'm gonna put the grabber tool down here, and I'm gonna lock it onto the head of that cap, and then you'll see me pull it out. Okay, there we go. I'm latched onto it, and there we go, right off. And that's it. So this is the easiest way I found to do it. You do still got to squeeze one hand down in there to get the little tab off, but let me try it with the long flathead screwdriver and see if that helps at all. Alright, so now I'm going to try with the long flathead, and let's see if that makes it easier. At least that way we don't have to squeeze our hand down in there. So I'm going to put it above the little plastic tab. I'm going to push down and then try to push the tab up. Let's see if that unlocked it. Nope, still locked. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yep, so that did work. It was just a little harder to fill the little tab. See, it's hard to see the little tab, but there's a little ridge there that you got to grab onto to pull it away from the bracket, and it's flush against the bracket, so it's hard to pull it away from it. So that's why the little screwdriver was easier, because it has a sharper point. The longer screwdriver has a more blunt point, so it's harder to grab onto that little notch. But hopefully this will help you out to get that thing out easier.